Good morning. Today I would like to talk to you guys about a concept that a math teacher taught me in high school. And she taught me this thing, she would say it all the time. Her name was Miss Everson. She was my Algebra 2 teacher in freshman year of high school. And I remember every single day in class, I would sleep. I'd get to class, I'd roll up with my hoodie, put my hood up, fold my arms up, and go to sleep. But there's something that she taught me, what it did for me is what's interesting about this thing that she said to me is it has stuck with me for years, and it's the one thing at a high school that I really kept, and it's just one thing that she said to me, and what it was is she would say it all the time. We need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. We need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And it made so much sense to me because we get taught things one time. Like the very first time you learn it, that's when you're taught it. But you need to be reminded over and over again for the thing to actually be ingrained in you or for you to actually know it. And what it is it's like when you have when you learn something, your brain forms a connection. And it's like your brain is this pile of snow, and you walk through the pile of snow to create the connection. But every time you get reminded, every time that I'm reminded of something, my brain creates a new connection. One more, and one more, and one more, and one more. And it takes a couple times, maybe even 5 or 10 times, of reminding myself before I actually have the knowledge. And so ever since she said that to me, it's been something that has stuck with me. And so I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about repetition and why repetition is so important. Because when you do something over and over and over and over and over, you start to train your body to do the thing. Because your mind at first, when you taught it and when you learn something, when you're trying to teach your body something, it's your mind doing the action. It's your mind doing it. It's your mind doing it. And you're teaching your body as your mind and your body work together. But when it becomes a habit is when your mind releases it and your body takes over. Your body's now doing it regardless of your mind. And that's when a habit is formed. And so we have all these habits that we've already formed. And we have all these things that we've already done. And I have all these habits that I've already formed. And so these connections, these these avenues that we've taken our brain down, these neurons, these neuron pathways that we've created, that I've created. Um, the process of the spiritual awakening, the process of spiritual healing, I believe, is releasing these patterns, uh, releasing these patterns into nothingness. And the art of Zen is to remain in the nothingness, to remain in the present moment. Because there's the ego can sneak it back up on you and say, well, we've released all these old habits, so let's start to create new good habits. Right? But nothing is good or bad until the mind makes it so. So your vices are your habits, but if you replace them with virtues, they're still habits. And if you've attached yourself to these vices and you say, well, I'm attached to these things in this world, and then you go and you say, well, I'll attach myself to positive virtues, then you're still attached. It's still attachment. Regardless of which direction you're going in, good or bad, nothing's good or bad until the mind makes it so. And so you've just attached yourself to new habits. And they may bring you things in this world, but there are also attachments. They are also attachments. There are also things that keep you attached to this world. And so what is it then that we are trying to do? You know, do I want to create another alter ego? Do I want to release this current self and delve into a new creation? Do I want to teach myself things and then remind myself of those things and create a new character in this world? Or do I want to just be nothing and be present and just allow the world to take me over? Detachment completely. And just become whatever I become in the process. You know, and I think to myself, is it my mind that gets in the way? Like, am I thinking too much? Am I thinking that I want to be this thing? Do I think that I want to be something that I actually, if I were to just allow myself to be, it would naturally just happen? Right? But yesterday I talked about karma, and I talked about actions, and I talked about choices. And I believe that it is a choice. We can choose to be nothing, to be attached to nothing. And that may be the most joyous experience possible. Or we can choose to experience something where we create a being out of ourselves, a alter ego, a something new, a something that has never been created before. And it's simply a matter of what do we remind ourselves of every day? Like when I wake up in the morning, what am I reminding myself that I am? What connections am I continuing to make every day? And what connections do I want to be making? Or do I just not want to be making any connections at all? I want to just be free in the world, in the reality that I am living in. And so for me, it's definitely a choice between nothing and something new. And to get to something new, I have to first initially become nothing. So I guess the path for me is just become nothing and then see where it goes from there. And in the Tao Te Ching, he talks about Lao Tzu, he talks about how just attune to the Tao and then trust your natural responses. You know, silent the mind and then allow the thoughts to come in. And whatever ideas seem the most exciting, act on those ideas. Is that the way? Is that the way to do it? That's what all these people say. You know, allow, clear, quiet contemplation, listening to the fan. Idea comes through. It's exciting. Nothing can stop me from doing it. I'm gonna do it no matter what. You can't stop me. Nobody can stop me. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Those ideas. Those ideas are the ideas that are so juicy, so juicy. What's my goal? Like, what's the end goal? Why? Why do any of this? Why live your life to the best of your ability? Why improve your vehicle and your vessel so that you can channel all of the beautiful energies around you? And why experience yourself? Why take care of your own energy field? Why? Why do it? Why do any of it anyways? What does it matter? Does it matter? Does life have meaning? My answer to that is it doesn't. Life does not have meaning. It doesn't have its own meaning behind. Like, there's none. Life doesn't have its own meaning. Your life has the meaning that you give it. And that's the meaning of life. You choose what your meaning is, whatever you want it to be, whatever you want to do. And so it becomes this thing where it's like, why do we want an abundance mindset? Because the universe is naturally abundant. The reality of the world is abundance. And it's like, why do we want all these things? Like peace, safety, love, abundance. It's because that's what the universe already is. You already are all of those things. And so it's very, like, it makes sense why we want those things. It makes sense that, we've been reminded that we don't have these things, and we've been taught that we don't have those things. But all of those reminders and all of those, the one teaching and then the many reminders throughout our life have created a avenue that our brain likes to go down. Oh no, there's nothing down. Oh, there's nothing down. And so how can we change those avenues? Well, first of all, we have to create new ones. And if you have an avenue that's been gone down 1,000 times or 10,000 times, and you create a new avenue that's only been gone down once, it is very easy to go down the 10,000 time avenue, because it's so easy for water to flow down that stream. Momentum is, and this is what momentum is, 1,000 times. So it's this thick connection. It's this big, thick connection in your brain. And it's so easy to go back down that connection. And it's not so easy to go down the other connection, because there's less momentum. There's only one time. You've only been taught that one time. So it's easier to remind myself of this than of this. But while it is easier to go down the avenue of thought that takes you to the places that you've already been, it is just as easy to make a decision to think the other thought. And so what's interesting is that the connection between those thoughts that you used to think doesn't go away. It's still there. But the new connection, since you're giving it more energy, it now takes dominance. And this may be a process of you being in an environment where everybody around you is thinking down the same avenue that they've always thought. And so now you are the lone wolf. You are the loner, the person who is by themselves, who is the leader. Because the leader is in leading. There's only one at the top leading the group. So it is a loner. It is a lonely way of being. But loneliness is nothing is good or bad until the mind makes it so. So to be alone is to embrace your universality. Anyways. So yeah, it might be more difficult to choose the connection that's not so prevalent in your life, that you haven't been reminded of so many times. But choosing it over and over again and reminding yourself over and over again will make and bolster that connection. It will bolster it. It will bolster it. It will bolster it. It can never go away. It can never go away. Okay. So if you liked the video, slam a like on that video. Go ahead and press that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And comment down below of what videos you like to see and what topics that you want me to talk about. If you want me to talk about any specific topics, comment that shit down below and we'll get into it next video or the video after that one. I love you guys. Have a great day.